Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fabric Tech Talk Friday. I'm your host, Patrick LeBlanc, and I am here with Ben to talk about SQL databases in Fabric. Ben, before we get started,
Yes.
why don't you tell the people who you are and what you do?
I mean, you just told them I'm Ben, but Ben Weissman, data platform MVP from Germany, mostly working in the SQL field, still doing a lot of on-prem work, still working a lot with SQL Server.
Yep.
Some of the young folks out there may not know what that is.
Yeah.
They don't know what this on-prem thing means, but I mean, therethere's this thing in Fabric, SQL database.
Yep.
So that's right up my alley.
Yeah. So you know a little bit about SQL.
A bit.
Okay. So you're gonna talk.
I've only been doing this for 25 years, so I'm still on entry level, but
Okay.
so
enough
again,
all this
right
talk,
up my
Ben.
alley.
Enough of all this talk. Let's talk. Look at the second look at these SQL databases.
You've been a SQL person in your previous life.
Oh yeah, it's in my handle, my X handle.
I know,
Twitter handle,
Patrick DBA.
DBA.
I
That's
mean,
right.
there we go. So I'm in Fabric,
Yep.
and I'm creating a new icon. So I'm
A new icon.
no item.
Okay.
So I'm searching for SQL, and you get all these things like the mirroring and all that.
Yep.
And you can still do that and mirror your data in there, create shortcuts, replicate, build pipelines, whatever. However, right now, public preview, we get SQL databases in Fabric. So by just
Yeah.
doing that, I'm going to give it a name.
So I don't need to install anything or.
No.
Oh.
So just as easy if any other item, any other experience in Fabric, I just give this a name. So I'm
So don't
creating
need-
my SQL database, Patrick and Ben, and there we go.
So I don't need to set up a storage account. So I don't need to set up a SAN.
No,
A storage
no
area.
storage accounts, no configuration, no knobs, no handles. And this is kind of the beauty.
Yep.
But this is also the caveat that
Okay.
comes with it. So
Okay.
if you're deploying Azure SQL DB, for example, which is the closest equivalent, because let's not compare this to a SQL Server on-prem.
Okay. Fair enough. That's a good point.
Azure SQL is, for the most part, on feature parity with what we're seeing here.
Okay.
But if you're deploying Azure SQL, it gives you all these options. What kind of pricing model do you want to run?
Sure.
Are you running serverless? Are you running hyperscale? Are you running MI? And
Oh man. it's
none of
sure,
this is here.
Sure.
There is one option basically.
Mhm.
First beauty is all you need is a name, no region, no resource group, no storage account, no nothing. It's just here.
Okay.
All right. So let's get some data in there, and we're just going to load some sample data.
I'll just click the button.
Just right up my alley. I'm just clicking a button. That's basically in line with my skill set.
But this is one good thing about Fabric, right? You can quickly get
I love
started,
that.
quickly test out with some
Exactly.
sample data. I do like that.
Especially if you just try out any new experiences, being it, I've never worked with a lake house. Well, you just do the sample data thing, you get some files, you get some tables, and the exact same experience here.
Sure. Yep.
The nice thing here is it fully integrates with the Fabric ecosystem. So it's not just, oh, okay, he just deployed an Azure SQL DB, it has a slightly different name, and nothing else is happening. First of all, pricing in Azure SQL DB is complicated.
Very complicated.
Because there's all these different options and all that you
Yeah.
need to get your head around.
Yep.
Whereas here, we're consuming capacity units,
Right.
as everywhere else in Fabric.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Why would I use a SQL DB? For something transactional. You're building an app. You're using metadata.
Yep.
All of these things.
Yep.
The end game in Fabric is still analytical. I keep hearing, well, it's becoming the end-to-end data
Solution.
data
Yeah,
solution.
absolutely.
But the end game for Fabric, from my perspective, if you look at how big Power BI is, how big data warehouse is, how big data lake is,
Yeah.
analytics is that's where you need your data to be at some point.
Sure. But the SQL database is here now. It's
Absolutely.
transactional.
So what you would typically do now is to get that data in Fabric, well, in another Fabric experience into one lake.
Yep.
You would either set up a pipeline, or you would configure mirroring,
Or do a data flow.
or you do a data flow,
Yeah.
data flow Gen 2,
Data flow
which is
Gen
no
2.
faster.
Yeah. Which
Uh,
is now faster.
Speaking of mirroring,
Sure.
that's pretty cool. You see this little ribbon here, replication?
Yep.
Monitor replication. It automatically set up mirroring for all of my sample tables. It's already running. It's already replicated. This is in real time. This just happened right now.
Yeah.
So all of this running in real time. I don't care about mirroring because it's just there. It just works. Same thing. Next thing you were at DBA, what would
Yeah.
you do? Set up backups.
Backups.
It's
Absolutely.
already there. Point in time restores. All you do is you configure a retention period of 1 to 35 days. And then you say, well, something went wrong yesterday at 2:55
You can
p.m.
restore it.
And it will restore to that point in time.
So this is a full SQL server. I can create tables. I can create views. I can create store procedures. I can create functions.
Correct. So, and that is the big difference because you might also say, okay, we already got a SQL data warehouse. We got the SQL analytics endpoint
Yeah.
on the lakehouse. We got all these SQL experiences. Well, this is an Azure SQL DB. You can have stored trucks, you can have functions, you can have all of these things. You can connect to it with the tools that you love, VS Code, Management
I was
Studio.
just gonna. So you telling me I can open up Management Studio and connect to the
Correct.
database
I
if
say
want?
open in Visual Studio, VS Code or Management Studio.
Wow.
It's gonna
gives me all.
that's
the
a bit
information.
clunky here because actually I called my database Fabric and Ben. It's gonna give it a GUI
All
to
right,
it.
right. It's making it unique.
There's actually a pretty nice updated plugin for VS Code, so the SQL Server, where you can actually just explore everything that you have in Fabric, and it will show
I
you
saw
the name.
that. I saw that. Yeah,
Very neat.
it's really nice. All right.
Let me show you one last thing.
Okay.
Because we were joking about the young folks that are not SQL people.
That's what they are not.
Some of these people prefer something like Graph or a similar endpoint.
Yep.
You want to expose that data through Graph? Okay, let's do it. All I'm going to do is say new API for GraphQL. Click up here. I'm going to give it a name. I stick with GraphQL _1. But
Yep.
And you can have as many of these APIs as you want. So for example, for you, I only want the products to be exposed.
Sure.
Because you're my product manager.
That's right.
That's what you get.
Yep.
No more, no less. Let's say load. And I'm now creating an API. That API exposes all my data. It allows me to get the code to access this specific API in Python or in other languages like Node.js.
Oh, it's real
I can
simple.
take that code, copy and paste it into my code, and boom, there we go. I can query this thing using the GraphQL.
Wow. Wow. So we have a full SQL database directly inside of Fabric that's provisioned with just a few clicks.
Correct.
And I can do all the things. I have retention. I have all the objects. I have everything built right
Got
in.
everything. You're missing out on a couple of the knobs and handles and switches and all that in the back end.
Yeah.
And then Exchange, you get all the autonomy of automatic mirroring, with automatic replication, with automatic backups, with automatic indexing, with automatic scaling. All of this, it's coming right out of the box.
All right. Well,
That's
Ben,
the beauty.
thank you so much for coming hang out on
Thank
Fabric
you for
Tech
having me.
Talk. And
Pleasure.
thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, comments, you know what to do. Post it in the comments below. And as always, from Ben and myself, thanks for watching. See you next Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for watching. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to hit that like button.
If this is your first time visiting the Microsoft Fabric YouTube channel, be sure to smash that subscribe button.
Drop a comment below on what you would like to see on the future episodes of Fabric Tech Talk Fridays.
That's it for today. See you all next Friday for another deep dive in the Microsoft Fabric.